Mr. T. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Schauber?
Here.
Okay. Summary proceedings. There were a few errors. I did contact Matt, and he made the changes. Do you have any changes?
I do not.
Okay.
You will never get a grammar fix or a spelling fix from me.
Well, we thought it was important because the computer thought your name was Schober.
I move
I've
we
been
accept
called
the
worse.
minutes with your corrections.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Dickel?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to old business. Item number 1.
Annual liquor permit renewals.
Okay, this was brought up at the last committee meeting, and I believe Mr. Schauber asked time just to look things over, and I don't know if he has any comments or if anybody else.
I do not. I looked over the list and nothing stuck out to me, and I haven't received any phone calls since that last meeting, so unless someone else has something.
As did I have nothing, so.
Anybody in public?
I say we completed our due diligence and do it again next year.
Okay, this doesn't need to move to full council, this is
No.
just a, okay. All right. So moving on to new business, item number 1.
Ordinance amending ordinance 2023-017 in order to reestablish the council's information systems committee.
So my understanding is this is just bringing back a committee that was abolished and then bringing it back, is that correct?
Oh, I don't
Yes.
know.
I got this from Mr. Barr and spoke with the chairman and with President Stoneburner, and they told me to put it on the agenda for discussion.
Okay. Am I correct in assuming that this was disbanded in 2017, this committee?
23.
23, okay, 2023. Do we have any information as to why it was disbanded and what the current need to bring it back would be? I mean,
I think we have an answer there.
because you have some software stuff coming up here soon, maybe?
Marion, Council at Large, former chairman of the Information Systems Committee when it was disbanded. So, yeah, to your point, primary goal or focus of that committee was to review software changes. There had been none in the city for some time. Previous administration felt there was no need to continue with the Information Services Committee because of the lack of meetings. So it was disbanded. The need to bring it back, so there's been discussion, Mayor brought up at the last meeting, the need to look at the financial software that the city uses. Therefore, it would be probably a good idea to bring back information systems.
Certainly. Thank you.
If I could ask Aaron Rollins a question?
Of course.
So, I won't be here next term of council. How do you see this Information Systems Committee functioning, or what role will it play in a financial software system?
Well, the previous information system committee, my assumption is this is going to bring back the previous committee, which would look at the software as a whole. My opinion would be this would have to go through not only the Information Systems Committee, but also a Finance Committee because of
The purchase, right?
because of the purchase.
So, do you see this committee's role as filtering through different financial software programs and then telling the auditor, another elected office, what system she's using?
No, I think software should be brought to the committee, and what we should try to determine as a committee, is the software correct for the type of finances that we do within the city? Are we going to end up in the same pickle that we're in right now using New Age? I'm going to be very curious, whatever software we use, what functions they have for monthly reconciliation processes, because we heard last Monday we haven't done one potentially maybe all year. So That would, I think, in my opinion, that would be the role of the information service, information technologies committee, would be
To identify the need of a software program?
just to make sure that it fits both what council needs and the administration would need. I think it's up to them to pick the software that works best.
Well, yeah, obviously, it would be
But
directed
they
from
thought
the
that
auditor.
the software that they picked, whatever that was 20 years ago, was best, and we're finding out now from the auditor state that that was not the case all along, probably.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Barr, did you have something?
Some of the first word, and just to echo what Councilman Rowland said, with potential new software, but also with the use of ADP, you know, all the different technological things we use, I just thought it was important that we had a committee that some of these things could filter through and go on to council.
Naomi Craig, 365 Silver Street. Why is council going to have oversight of the software that the auditor is going to be using? Because this would be one elected body telling her what software she should be using. And I believe it should be up to her office. I don't understand why council would have oversight of the software that she chooses, and she will ask ultimately for the money for. And then council would play a role by allocating the money. But I somehow feel now, with the state of Ohio in here, that they're going to be making the software decisions. So I don't understand, unless we're going to go back to this silent sabotage stuff, I don't understand what council's role is in overseeing financial software, especially this committee, considering it's not finance.
Yeah, those are my questions too. What role will this committee have?
Who's qualified? Who is qualified next year to say what financial software we should be using, all of these other things? Because these are pretty career specific. So who will be qualified to say this is the best accounting software that we should use? And pay possibly $1 million that we don't have for it.
I believe it would just be an advisory role, not, they wouldn't be picking it, and, because I won't be here next year, and I see it as just another check to make sure we're not spending money on something that's not.
Isn't that the finance committee's position though?
Could go between the two committees, and perhaps it's going to be before two committees. I'm not sure. I just see it as another check to make sure we're not spending money we don't have on something that's not worth it.
So then who would qualify to say that this software isn't worth the $1 million? Who has that expertise? Wouldn't we really leave that to the auditor and who she would ask to be the expert and give her the opinion, or possibly even ask the state of Ohio what software they would use? I'm just trying to figure out who up here has the IT expertise to be able to say, yes, this is good software, I've researched it, it functions correctly. Who is going to do that? Or are we going to sit up here and create another committee that nitpicks the auditor for the next 2 years?
Well, in the same way, I am not a builder, I'm not a person who does renovations or anything, but I sat on a committee where we had to approve or disapprove a man who's going to oversee that. I can see.
I thought the contract was still open for bid. I didn't.
Well,
realize it
I'm
had
just
been.
saying, you know, it's going to go out to somebody. I would say that if Miranda decides this is the software she wants, she would have that person explain to council or the committee exactly what it's going to do. Again, just another check, just an oversight. It's not a.
So it's another oversight. So then her office will now have 2 oversights. It will have this IT commission or whatever you're calling it, and the finance committee. So then who is checking you guys?
The voters. And based on our finances now, don't you think we need as much oversight as we can get?
I believe that's what the state of Ohio is going to provide for us, and I don't believe we have the $1 million that was discussed to pay for the software. So I'm trying to figure out why council is inserting themselves into a situation that involves the auditor, state auditor, possibly admin, but not really, when this should be something that she should be bringing before you. If she feels like she needs some more oversight or needs some guidance from council about what software to purchase for her office, then she should be asking you, you should not be dictating it to her.
I don't believe it would be dictated.
I believe if you're setting up a whole committee to tell her, come tell us what your software does or doesn't do, or we think this is what your software does or shouldn't do, or this is what we want, I believe that's setting it up to chew her behind for the next 2 years. And I just wanted to defend her before it happened and let you know that it's crap.
My thought is there might be other things that go through this committee besides the IT stuff, you know, I mean, had we had this committee before we got the camera system in place in here, I would assume that that system would have gone through that committee as well. We would have been able to hear and be presented about that. Just other IT stuff, computer stuff. I'm no computer expert. I certainly wouldn't dictate what the auditor would be able to use, because I wouldn't be able to, but I think the committee would be helpful for oversight, as Mr. Dichtel stated. Mr. Cooper.
Matthew Cooper, 844 Congress Street. As for taking basically the word for a person who has been known to mess with numbers, has been called out about messing with numbers, letting her pick her own software, and not having oversight, doesn't sound like a very smart move to me.
Anyone else?
The format did seem a little off to me on this one, but are we worried about that?
Read okay to me.
It can be adjusted on, is that correct, is my question, Mr. Schauber? The format of this? Okay.
Yeah.
That was
The
incorrect.
striking and then it shall be amended to read as.
Okay.
Hannah Craig, 365 Silver Street. I remember a time last year where legislation was not allowed to leave committee because it was not in the correct format. Multiple times it was kept in committee because it was not in the correct format.
This is in the right format?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
in regards to the format, this is an ordinance before your committee proposing to repeal Section 1 of 23-17, which eliminated the standing committee known as the Committee on Information Systems. The format of this ordinance is correct.
Thank you.
I move that you send this to council with no recommendation.
I'll second. Call roll, please.
Mr. Dichtel?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Schauber?
Why not? Yes.
Okay, moving on to matters not on the agenda. Members of the committee have anything?
I did, but I don't, so I forgot.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
No, sir?
Okay. Anything from the public this time? Okay, seeing none, this adjourn, 6:43.
I'm just gonna stay here a minute.
That's fine.
Ready when you are. You look over the minutes and stuff. All right, everybody, the time is 6:44. We're going to call Municipal Services, Parks and Rec to order. Clerk, would you please take the roll?
Mr. T. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Barr?
Present.
Ms. Lang?
Okay, we have some summary of proceedings. Go ahead and approve those as submitted.
Is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
I'll second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Okay, we have one order of new business. Senior ordinance. Would you please read the ordinance?
Resolution of the City Council of the City of Marion, Ohio, requesting that the mayor formally seek supplemental funding from the Marion County Commissioners to offset a projected 10% reduction of the City of Marion Senior Center budget for the fiscal year 2026.
Okay, yeah, so I put this together, this resolution together. Hopefully, we can get the commissioners and the mayor in conversation, and maybe they can help us out with our budgetary problems, especially over there at the senior center. I've been in minor talks with them over there, nothing serious. Hopefully, if we can get this sent on to council and passed, things can get more serious when the mayor and the commissioners have conversation. Have you had a chance to look over the resolution?
Yes. I think it's a tall order, but I also think not just because of the budgetary constraints we're facing, this is something that probably should have been discussed a long time ago.
Certainly.
That being said, I'll make a motion to send on to council. No recommendation.
I'll second.
Any more discussion?
Any discussion from the public? Please call the roll.
Mr. Barr, or Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Okay, item number 2, public discussion. So if anybody has anything they would like to bring forward to municipal services, please do so. Nothing? All
I got
right.
something there.
Yeah.
Mr.
Please go
Bodine,
ahead.
did we ever look at trash cans at Roosevelt Park and Baldwin Park?
We did, that was a while ago. I can't remember which one it was, but we were told there was no trash can at one of them, and I confirmed with our parks department that there was.
Okay.
And at the other location, I believe, it was set on fire. So, I think there was some, I think that happened recently, I'm not positive, but, a little while ago.
I'm just
I
curious.
can check back.
I'm just curious, if we have the parks, we should have a place where they can dispose of stuff properly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Certainly. Any other discussion? Okay, 6:47, we stand adjourned. I thought they took the trash cans and stuff away in the winter. Do they still leave those out during the winter?
Where are we at? I can't find my business. Did it clip together?
How are you, Ralph?
Never know until I leave.
You make it to the car, all right?
I just looked at it.
You got 3 in a row tonight, huh?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get some food in me.
I lost my packet. I'm sorry.
I can read sideways.
Best place. Okay, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
49, I'm going to call to order the Streets and Sewers Committee. Clerk, will you take roll?
Mr. Barr?
Present.
Mr. T. Smith?
Here.
Mr. R. Smith?
Present.
Got a summary of proceedings as the committee had an opportunity to review.
We have. I move we accept as submitted.
I second.
If you'll take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
And new business? Item 1, streets 12, emerging contaminants and ordinance. Clerk, if you read.
Ordinance authorizing the service director to enter into a contract with Hazen and Sawyer for planning, evaluation, and conceptual design of a lactate leachate treatment system located at the Water Pollution Control Center, appropriating necessary funds and declaring an emergency.
Okay, this comes from
Yeah. Sorry.
This come from Mr. Rice. I believe this is to capture and be on the leading edge of capturing some of these forever chemicals that we hear about so much in the news. And I think we're on the leading edge, and with this is a 100% forgivable loan because we're on the front edge of this. So I really think it's a good opportunity for us, and I'm sure Mr. Rice can explain it much more eloquently.
I don't know about eloquent, but Matt Ice, Water Pollution Control Superintendent. So about a year ago, a little over a year ago, the Assistant Director of the EPA contacted me that there's been studies done on the Scioto River, and then also up the Little Scioto River, which led to us being a discharger of these forever chemicals. So through that, we did a study to determine that they did not come from any of the industries within the city, which was great. We were very concerned about that. But we did, through this study, determine that the leachate that we accept, not only from the old landfill of the city of Marion, but we also have, I believe it's 5 other landfills that haul their leachate to us. It's about 15% of our revenue, so it's a big deal to us to be able to accept this leachate. So the EPA contacted us, we did a study, found out that it came from there. They came to us and said, we have this federal money that's out there. It was a bipartisan law, this infrastructure law, I think is what they called it. So they approached us, and they've awarded us a completely forgivable loan. The reason it's called a loan is the bills are submitted to us. We have to submit it to the OWDA, which is the loan company, and then we get the money back, and then we have to pay the vendor. But it's no debt to the city.
It's all passed through.
It's all passed through. So this is a win-win. And like you said, this is kind of new technology. 10 years ago, I never heard the term forever chemicals, unless you see Teflon type stuff, which is what they're known to be in. So this is a great opportunity for the city. I think in the next 20 years, we're going to see federally limits for wastewater plants.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. There's currently limits that are being put on water plants, which is why we're being found out about this, is down further south.
Okay.
So it's a great opportunity.
Good. Any questions from the committee?
I will say the emergency clause was put on there. There is kind of a time frame on this. Design needs to be completed by August, so the construction award can go out. And that also is 100% forgivable.
And that'll be coming back once the
That'll be
design
coming
is done.
back to award the construction loan and all of that.
Okay.
So
You know those numbers, Mr. Ice? The forgivable?
they're estimating around $10 million.
Okay.
So it's, nothing in my business is cheap.
Certainly.
So they're estimating the design to be around $2 million. With that, they have to do a facilities plan to figure out how it fits into our facility. And they also have to figure out how to get the leachate from our current landfill to be treated through this system.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anything from the audience? Wishes of the committee?
Make a motion to move this on to council with recommendation to approve.
I'll second.
Take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Matters not on the agenda. Anything from the administration? Committee? Audience? Seeing none, hearing none, we're adjourned, 6:54. Can't believe I lost my paper. I wanted to sit
You were back there talking to somebody with it, and it just disappeared.
looking at it.
It should be easy to find. It's in color.
Just.
in the same place they're always on.
You know who you
I think
are.
we have a reference in there.
Now you're all right.
Yeah, I already saw that. I took that one out.
You ready? 6:55, call the traffic commission to order. Clerk, will you take roll?
Mr. Barr?
Present.
Mr. T. Smith?
Here.
Mr. R. Smith?
Present.
Director Cal?
Present.
Engineer Shetler?
Here.
Chief McDonald?
Here.
Director Russell?
Here.
Okay, summary of proceedings. Commission had an opportunity to review. I saw one, I don't think Mayor Schertzer mentioned an upcoming meeting. I think that was supposed to be Mayor Collins.
AI imagines all kinds of things.
Okay, well, if we can make that correction,
I think I already did.
wishes of the commission.
Move we accept as submitted with corrections.
Second.
We'll take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes?
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Director Cal?
Yes.
Engineer Shetler?
Yes.
Chief McDonald?
Yes.
Director Russell?
Yes.
Okay, old business, lane shift signs at South Prospect and Columbia Street, and State Street and Church. Mr. Cal?
Yes, they have been installed and they're quite visible. I hope they help.
Any other discussion on it? All right, item 2, Silver Street traffic study.
Jeff and I got this back from city electrician and we were kind of reviewing it and there seems to be some anomalies in there. We're not sure. It says 29,787 vehicles, which is probably accurate, but the dates were November 14th through December 8th, and normally the batteries don't last that long. And we were noticing towards the end, there's some days where it showed 0 cars going down the street, so.
That's a lot.
Right, so we may want to charge the batteries and redo this study, but preliminarily it showed the average speed of 33 miles per hour, one car at a max of 96, which was you, and then a minimum of 8. So I think it's worth, with the potential issues we saw, I think it's worth redoing. And this first snowstorm in December fell in those dates too, so that would probably skew those numbers a little bit as well, so. But on a good note, Jeff and Scott thinks they may have found the answer to Mr. Smith's questions about how we glean different data by putting in different parameters in there. There's a lot of stuff we found out that this program can do that we weren't originally aware of, so.
That's cool.
So revisit that study.
I think it's
When
worth
that comes back out,
redoing.
you'll let us know, and we'll put it back on.
How long do those studies run for?
It usually goes about 2 weeks. We collect about 2 weeks of data,
Okay.
and then hopefully we don't get a,
65 Silver Street. So other than the 0 days, you came up with almost 30,000 cars?
yes,
Okay. And that was in 2 weeks, you said?
about the 14th of November through the 8th of December.
Okay, so about 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
and usually the batteries don't last that long. That's why I think we maybe have some data that's off a
So I
little bit.
wasn't kidding about the traffic though. So even on 0 days.
All right, any new business? Matters not on the agenda?
I'll have one.
Mr. Smith?
On Church Street, right where it's one way, well, most of Church Street's one way, but, how do I want to word this?
Down by Greenwood and Sergeant?
Now, up by Vine and, in between Vine, that section of Church Street right there. There is constantly cars going the wrong direction somehow off of Mount Vernon right there. I don't know if we can put light ups, wrong way signs overhead over there, like the stop signs do. Is there anything we can do to get those signs more visible, more noticeable?
Do people go right at Vine, is that what you're saying?
They come off Mount Vernon. They
Go
come off of
west.
Mount Vernon and try to go west on
Gotcha.
Church Street.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a semi do that.
It's almost daily, So,
Mr. Cal, can we look into that and see if we can come up with an option?
Sure.
sweet.
Mr. Rollins?
Aaron Rollins, Council at Large. I just wanted to thank whoever was responsible for removing the double stoplight anomaly at Center in Pennsylvania. Thank you. Of all the engineering anomalies here in town, that one was my favorite. Do have some questions about that. So are we going to do something with the second white line? Because I do see it is confusing for potentially out-of-town drivers. I see a lot of people stop at that second white line when they really should be stopping at the...
That stop bar needs ground down.
Yeah, and I think at one time there was also talk about moving that stoplight to the corner where Jersey is. Is that still?
That's in the engineering phase of looking to see if that's a possibility.
Great.
It's also part of Safe Streets for All grant,
Okay,
so we're still waiting to hear back on that.
thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other matters not on the agenda? The audience, administration? Anything further from the commission?
Nothing.
Seeing none, hearing none. We're adjourned, 7:01. Oh, there it was. Hey, it was underneath. Sorry. As long as you got it.
Do they make light up wrong way signs?
This afternoon, I became aware of an item I'd asked for an executive session once you're done with all your new and old business.
Foldable spike strips.
Yeah, I've been saying all along, just a sign that says beware of spike strips, will get people to slow down.
Sure.
Item number 4 on the finance agenda.
Okay. Yeah.
What's up? We went out talking about that, right? Like, we're skipping over that, right? Since they voted that it can't,
But I wasn't
I don't know, the city hall, so they can't be here.
assuming, but yeah, I get chewed out because I wasn't told to.
Right.
Probably in trouble for not taking it, but I wasn't told to.
Yeah.
Seven 7:03, call this Finance Committee to order for 12/15/2025. Clerk, could you please take roll?
Ms. Lang, Mr. Rollins,
Present.
Mr. Ratliff.
Present.
There are 3 proceedings. Have you had a chance to review all of those?
You have no changes, I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second that. Clerk, could you please take roll?
Mr. Rollins,
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff,
Yes.
First item of old business is audits, 2022 being primary. Any updates from the auditor?
Yes, we actually have Clark Schaefer Hackett in-house this week. They are compiling data, getting reports, disbursement, testing controls, et cetera, et cetera. They were here all day today. They will be here tomorrow as well. I believe at least 2 of them will be here until Thursday. So we're gonna power through as much as we can this week. And then we do also have an additional visit, or a secondary week visit in January. I believe that's scheduled for the first week of January.
Do we have a target for completion for 22?
Target for completion is the end of January.
Any questions from committee?
I have none.
Questions from the audience? All right, we will move on to item number 2, penalties and appeals. Any updates from the office?
I did send out an email last week. I spoke with Jeffrey Miller from Voorhees regarding the first quarter 22 abatement. The hearing was not this past Friday, the Friday before that. And based on the information and the evidence that was provided at that appeals hearing, Jeffrey stated that the IRS is willing to give us a 35% abatement, meaning we will get 35% of the original amount paid plus interest returned to us. He did need an answer that day, so I did make the executive decision to accept the 35% abatement, given that the conversation he and I had based on previous experience he'd had in similar situations. He said for the costs that we'd already paid, if we were to take it to court, the chances of winning were very slim. So it was either take the 35 or risk getting nothing.
Did you include the administration or the law director in those discussions?
I did not. I got a call from him and we discussed it over maybe a 15-minute phone call, and then I sent the email to council.
Questions?
I know I had emailed her back and said I think she made the right call. It's one of those, if it was going to be taken off the table, if they didn't have an answer, they needed to have an answer. Sometimes, just government processes make things to where, was it 100% proper? Maybe not, but I don't know who actually makes that call. I don't think it's actually council. Probably between her and the law director, would be the two people to make the call. Is there any action that's needed from council to accept that?
Not as far as I'm aware. He said there was a signature he was going to need, but he does have power of attorney, so he doesn't need anything from me at this point. If anything does come up and he needs anything from us, I'll let you know.
I mean to accept the money.
Likely once it's received, yes, we'll have something for the appropriation board.
Okay.
New Craig 365 Silver Street. Do you know about how much that is and when we're expecting to receive it?
Yes, I did the math. I don't have an expected receiving date.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds so I get the number. I believe it was roughly $25,000.
So we had paid $61,333.93, and 35% of that is $21,466.88.
$21,000, how much?
$466.88.
And you said we'll be do some interest in.
And then we will receive that plus interest.
Yes.
You cheated, you have my email from me.
Yes, I did not do it. That was all.
I was like, did you do that without a calculator sitting there? You should, good, way to know, ratty math.
I wouldn't have ratted you out.
All right, anything else on this? Yep.
Jason Shower, Third Ward City Council. The last IRS penalties and payments we went against someone's bond is the same going to happen here. And where does that sit in the process?
Mr. Chairman, I believe an email came in just maybe even after 5 today. The state auditor has asked for an update, I believe, of the auditor and the mayor in my office in regards to what they are closely monitoring. In fact, they referred to it in the 2021 audit release in November.
Yes.
That they are, as far as they believe, fully aware of all the IRS penalties, the pension fund penalties, the one other OPRS penalties, and they're monitoring those. And they will, the expectation is, following the processes of the past, make findings of fact and include those findings and facts, hopefully in the 2022 release audit. And then the city is in a position to recover against the auditor's bond, at least in this particular case of the discussion we were just having, as far as receiving 35% of what we're entitled to receive back, which is 100%.
So I'm glad you brought up the holding, or letting the findings for recovery stack up.
I didn't let them stack up.
Well, no, we're not releasing them, or we're not acting on them.
Let's be clear, and I'm not arguing with you. I have sent, more than 2 years ago, I sent a letter on my letterhead to the auditor of state, asking them to take action. And when we were going through the process this summer and fall in regards to completion of the 21 audit, I had asked them directly to ensure that they made the proper findings of fact. When the indication at the table in the mayor's conference room, they indicated they may not be doing that, I asked, what about the pension fund? Yes.
Clarifying questions. What is the reason why they're holding them, releasing the findings for fact or findings?
Their response to our request to make findings of recovery was they wanted, as was referred to maybe by Mr. Ratliff or yourself at a prior council meeting, their simple response was, we know some are in process, we want to see the results of those in process. Then we, meaning the Auditor of State's office, will act. And I said, well, in regards to the police and fire pension fund and PERS, those are not appealable.
Correct.
Why won't the state of Ohio Auditor's Office make a finding of fact recovery right now?
And I asked that during our...
I got no response.
Exactly.
That's why I'm hopeful that they will be included in the 2022 release that we hope to see in the late spring or early summer.
What influence does the city have to force their hand to release them? Because right now, the taxpayers are on the hook for all these fees.
Well, I guess I take issue with the city taxpayers, of which most of us in this room are on the hook. I feel confident the finding for recovery process and the bonds that are in place are available to recover 100% of those monies that have been paid to the Internal Revenue Services for penalties and to the pension funds. I have no reason to believe that process won't be successful in the end.
Okay.
I believe, though, related, Judy from the auditor's office has been in need of some documentation regarding previous IRS abatements, including, if I'm not mistaken, the one that we may have just accepted a settlement on. But I think the original deadline for some of that documentation was October 31st. Do we have an update on when she's going to get those?
She did send an email last week. I haven't gotten a chance to do it, but I'll take care of it when I get upstairs. Because I have all the documentation together, so I'll make sure I get it out to her.
Because if we don't provide the auditor with the documentation that they need, to your point, I feel like somebody's kicking the can down the road here. You understand what I'm saying? The auditor is basically saying, I need these documents. We've got a deadline that was October 31st that they were supposed to provide all of the IRS abatements up until this point, and they're still waiting on them.
And this committee's been waiting on that very answer for how many years?
I mean, on the other hand, if they are waiting on to see what's been abated and what's not before they make a finding, and they can give us any date that they want to, October 31st or, whenever, but if it's not abated until December the 10th, you can't give them information on October 31st of what's been abated and what's not when the abatement didn't happen until December the 10th. So, I mean, you can set any deadline and meet or not meet a deadline, but if the information is not available, you can't give what you don't have.
Is that the way you did it the first time?
Well, how we did it the first time is
Pretty swift.
we paid it and then filed against the bond. Once we got a finding of fact or a finding of recovery from the state, which we haven't received yet.
And we have no explanation as to why the state.
I think, personally, they're trying to expedite and move faster, And I think letting those roll is helping them do it faster. Just my own personal.
Okay.
Now, looking at 2020 though, I mean, and to be honest with you, I don't remember what the tax issue was. What was the 2020 tax issue that we got? Because if I remember right, 2020 was technically the year we had 3 auditors, correct?
21 was.
21, okay. Okay.
So the tax issue was, I believe it started in June. Keep in mind, I'm playing telephone because I was not here until the end of 21, so I'm giving you the details that I have based on conversations that I've had. So from what I've been made aware of is there was an issue as far as how the tax payments were made. When the tax payments were attempted to be made the first time, somehow the account information had gotten deleted. The software company that the payment was being made through, quote unquote, recreated the batch but put in the wrong account information and put in state information instead of Fed information.
I remember. So my question then is just on bonds in general. So when and this is something maybe I should know, and maybe everybody else does. So if somebody's bonded, at this point I think the auditor was bonded at $100,000, and we have already turned in against that bond for $100,000, and I think we received the $100,000. Is the $100,000 per term? Is it per calendar year? Is it what are we bonded for? Is, I guess, my general question, because if it's per term, I don't think we can go against a bond because I think we already maxed it out.
Is your question directed to me?
Whoever has the answer.
In this particular case, and actually while you were discussing this, the letter that came from the state auditor last Friday, which is the email I was forwarded just this evening about 5:10, is very specific in regards to what the state auditor is asking for. You would ask a question, Mr. Ratliff, about 2020. On their letter, they're very specific. They're just asking the city auditor for the city of Marion to provide documentation regarding the refund claims in 2020 for the 1095C filings. And I know from being involved in this, that was an appeal taken at her own expense, the former auditor, Auditor Carr, which was successful. That's the only one I see in the letter from the state of Ohio in regards to 2020. The reason that's important to answer your question, if you go on and you look at the outstanding tax penalties, the state of Ohio auditor would like more information and proof as to having been abated. They're very specific, and I'll just run through a few. Fourth quarter 22, $6,500. First quarter 23, $2,300. Third quarter 23, $6,600. Those aren't very high amounts, so I don't have a concern that we'll be pressing against the auditor bond because it's been increased within the last 1 or 2 years, 1 year to, I believe, is it 750,000? So the question of pressing up against the bond is only relevant for 24, 23, and 22.
Well, in 2020.
No, not 2020.
Well,
2020, the only thing on this list that I'm looking at from the auditor estate in regards to unresolved 2020 tax penalties or payments is just related to the 1095Cs in 2020.
Okay, I guess I was, the email.
Do you have this letter? I'd be happy to forward it to the clerk of council so that every council member could have it and get more information about what the state's asking for.
Could you do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I was reading your email incorrectly that we all got. Was this for 2022 or was this for 2020? Because It's a little confusing to me.
The first quarter abatement?
Yes.
22.
Okay. So this is on, you were auditor at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. And in '22, you still had a bond of $100,000, I'm going to assume.
I believe we increased it, but I can't remember when.
Okay.
I will have to do some digging.
So I guess just for general knowledge, what is someone bonded for? Is it a term or a year?
The expiration term, the expiration date is the term. So we come in January 1 of '24, it's good until '27. That being said, within the actual document itself, there are stipulations as to whether or not it's per incident or per term. That I will have to actually reach out to somebody because I don't have specifics on that. That's based on policy.
Okay.
So it's every year and possibly per incident.
Yeah.
Any other items regarding? Come on forward.
I'd like to speak on that.
Yeah, state your name and address, please.
Matthew Cooper, 844 Congress Street. Right now, we're going over, we're tracking looks like we're tracking some tax issues, some, the fire and police officer pension fund claims against our bond. We've been, you guys have held different city council meetings about this. You guys are tracking this through the auditor's office, but there really hasn't been any public discussion about what this means. What this means is the city has promised the fire department and the police department funds, and they can't afford to pay for it. And this is now there's being a claim put against the bond of the city to fund that, correctly?
No. What it means is that it was paid late. And there are interest, fines, and fees, and tax dollars are not allowed to be used to pay interest, fines, and fees of things that are paid late. So when the city gets fined, and we have to pay the fine, then what the state does is that they issue a finding against the person who caused that to be paid late. And then that person is personally responsible to reimburse the city for the money that it used to pay the interest, fines, and fees of something that should have been paid on time.
But nobody's given up the documents to prove who did that, right?
No, it is the auditor.
Okay.
And so she has a bond, and so that will go against her bond, and then that'll be between her and the bonding company, what happens after that.
Okay, has there been a specific dollar amount that's been put on this, the pension fund? What has been claimed against the bond of the auditor?
Nothing yet, because the state has not issued a finding.
Okay, so you don't know how much it is, what it's gonna be, and,
We know this one is going to be about $40,000.
so is the city planning on settling, or are they gonna fight that?
I'm assuming that the city is going to place a $40,000 claim against the bond of the auditor.
Okay, all right. I think that answers the questions that I have. Anyway, we could put I'd like to put a meeting together to like go over this, why there's an issue with the funding of the pension of the police, and
It's not so much an issue of funding, it's an issue of doing it on time. And that is an inter-office issue.
all right, thanks.
Mhm.
All right. Item number 3, I am not going to entertain. That was the budget item, and since there is another budget already at full council, I am not going to entertain any discussion on this budget. So we will move on to new business. Item number 4. No.
About the 26th budget, you said it's in front of council. I thought that, I'm sorry, Ma'am Craig, I thought that what happened Monday was approving 25% of this budget that you have in this committee.
And then they also voted 6-3 to take the budget out of this committee. So it is not in this committee.
So where's the budget then? Does the
That'll,
budget exist that we're gonna base the 25% off of, or are we just winging it, 25%? You don't know either?
No,
No, so we don't know what we're gonna base this quarterly budget off of?
negative.
So we're just.
I don't have, the only budget I have is what I've been provided previously
What we've
in this
all been
committee.
given.
Correct.
That's, doesn't show the 10% cuts or anything like that.
It-
Not across the board, I guess I should say. Like the 17 or 19 million dollar budget is all I keep finding online.
Correct.
And so next Monday, you guys are going to vote on, you don't know what.
My assumption is we're voting on another, the quarter, 25% of the budget that was presented to us previously in this committee.
So the budget that has not
The
passed
reason-
the committee is going, so I guess I'm trying to figure out, this is what we're gonna pass 25% of?
The reason it didn't get passed last Monday is because it didn't have enough votes to overcome the suspension of rules.
So we're literally passing a budget that we don't know what 25% of a budget that we don't know what it is.
I mean, as Mr. Schaber said last Monday, his interpretation was that it should be for salaries and benefits only.
I agree with that, but we're literally passing 25% of a budget that does not exist.
I believe what council is going to do is pass a short-term operating budget, and I think that they have a deadline with the state of April the 1st to submit a full year's operating budget to the state. And
But we're
so,
gonna wing 3 months in like 2 weeks. We're gonna come up with 3 weeks worth of, or 3 months worth of numbers in like 2 weeks, but we're not really sure where they're coming from. I guess as a member of the public, I've gone through what you have right there in your hand, kind of comparing years, and then I've gone through, I've never seen a budget where all the numbers are red. So that's what confused me. So the 17 million or 19 million, which are we passing 25% of? Or 15 million?
It's a great question.
Okay, so we really, next week, we're gonna start allocating or appropriating money and just wing it.
I
I hope people are listening to this.
You're talking to two people that did not vote to do it, and so.
Well, I was just kind of hoping that maybe you understood what was going on last week.
That's why we voted no.
Well, I know, I just thought maybe.
I don't understand how we can have a full budget in committee and then try to pass a 25% budget in full
It doesn't
council.
exist, technically.
That we're gonna ram down everybody. I didn't understand it. I still don't understand it today.
So technically, we don't have an existing budget, but we're gonna allocate 25% of that non-existent budget by January 1st.
That is correct, and that is why I'm not gonna entertain any further questions on the budget.
Okay, I appreciate the clarification, because it did not make sense. It still doesn't, but it makes more sense, if that makes sense.
Because it doesn't make sense, yeah.
Can't make sense out of that.
All right, moving on to new business, item number 4. Clerk, if you could please read.
Ordinance requesting appropriations to the Transit Department Fund in the below listed line item for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
All right, this came through from, do you have anything to add?
Just that the transit department would like to continue to do the Christmas lights for this year. We had some people that were making donations, so we had took that amount and did the math on that to make sure that it would be at no cost to the city other than the donated amount. With that being said, there is a little bit of a buffer of about $400-ish. So I feel like we can make this possible without, again, any cost to the city. And there was an attachment or a sheet that you guys could look at to see how we came up with those numbers.
Oh, this was the attachment?
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think, as I usually do, I will just name the donors that are mentioned here in the legislation. American Legion Post 584, American Legion Post 162, Pillar Credit Union, Logos Christian Ministries, Ashley Everly EXP. So apparently those are the folks that have donated from the community. So thank you for the donations.
And you say that this more than covers the cost of,
Correct, the donated amount was $1,350. And then I guess we tabulated everything on that sheet showing you the route, the total miles of the route, the cost of the bus to go through the fairgrounds, the cost of the fuel for 3 buses, including a little bit of extra miles just in case, the start and end time for the operating hours, the hourly rate for the operators to run said buses. Yeah. So all of it's there laid out.
all right, I will make a motion to send on to council, since this is for this year and Christmas is in 10 days, I guess with a recommendation to suspend and approve.
I will second that.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
All right, item number 5. Clerk, if you could please read.
Ordinance requesting additional appropriations to the SCMR fund in the below listed line item for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
All right, this is in relation to, I believe, construction bonds. Ms. Triano, do you have anything to add?
These are, yes, you're correct, it's for excavation and pavement bonds. This is one of the standing items that I have proposed along with the fire insurance, or the insurance from the fires. Just making sure that, the work's been completed, and once it's been approved, then it allows it to be ready for vendors to get their payments back to them in a timely manner.
Nobody's currently waiting though, right?
Not that I'm aware of. And as you can see, there's still a balance sitting there, so I think we're doing good keeping up with it.
Make a motion to send on to council with a recommendation to approve.
Second.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
And item number 6, clerk, if you could please read.
Ordinance approving additional appropriations in the receipt of the OPWC funds from the state of Ohio for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
All right, this also came from the auditor's office. Looks like it was originally submitted by Deputy Auditor Watts. Do you have anything to add?
Yes, this is very similar to the last OPWC ordinance that we submitted. This is for a bill that OPWC writes the check to the vendor for. We just have to recognize it on our books since it was funded, quote unquote, through us. It's on our behalf. So exactly like the last one that we did, just for a different amount.
So is it for 117 or is it, or were we short 77?
Oh, the 40 plus the 77.
Yeah.
I am not sure. I will check now.
I read this as that we didn't have enough. We didn't appropriate enough.
Right, my question though is that if we don't pay it, and we're just a pass-through, is the bill 77 or is the bill 117? Because if the money's in there already, do you count that?
I believe the New World balance is the same as it was on the last piece of appropriation.
Should go towards the balance. Is that-
Even if we're just a pass-through and we don't actually pay it?
Yeah, to her point, it has to be shown on the books. So if there's not appropriations in there, you can't do that.
Okay.
Adjustment.
Well, because we need to get the vendor paid and because it will be dead at the end of the year if we don't act on it, I'll make a motion to send it on to council with no recommendation. If you will provide that to all of council prior to the meeting, that would be appreciated.
I will second that. Clerk, if you could take the roll.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
All right. That moves us to matters not on the agenda. Mr. Ratliff, do you have anything?
I have nothing.
I have a couple items. One, There was a deadline today for ADP. Did we meet that deadline?
Deadline for
ADP, they needed the prior quarters filings, I believe.
Oh, for the taxes?
Yes.
I got you. No, but I will work on that. I had auditors in my office all day today, so I did not get that done, but I will get it done tonight.
And then last item I had, received an email that was kind of concerning regarding the current status of benefits, health insurance, and so on and so forth. Can anyone speak to that?
Yes, that is also an ADP issue. There's a report that we have to export from ADP to pull into New World. That report has been completely wrong, and I have to go through and manually correct 77 some odd hundred lines. So I am working on that to get that uploaded. We do believe we found a temporary fix in the meantime, so that will be getting adjusted tomorrow. And then Nora should have her checks in the morning.
Thank you. Any other items to come before this committee? Sorry. Please, go ahead. You're going to mention the one thing I was going to mention, so go ahead.
So I was made aware of a need and I would request that the committee go into executive session for a conference with the city attorney regarding imminent, threatened, or pending litigation, and would ask that every current elected city council person, the administrators in the box, and those newly elected that have been certified by the Board of Election to take office January 1 remain in the room.
And I would make that motion as such.
I will second.
If you could take the roll.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Rattle?
Yes.
Number 7.
Where are you going now?
Yes.